Alrighty, here we go. Waiting for the right light, you know how that goes. And there it is. I'm Max Rants, and I do rant today. Today, January the 20th, 2026, and it is 6:59 p.m.ish Mountain Time under a sky that we have not seen for nearly 2 weeks. You know, we've got weather reports telling us that right now, you go to weather pages, they say we're under partly cloudy skies. They've been saying the exact same thing for 2 weeks. Oh, we haven't seen the sky in 2 weeks. What the hell is that about? We'll get into that in another broadcast. Right now, I want to talk about the fact that hostilities between China, Japan, and the Philippines, they're starting to smack of war. It's getting ugly. The United States Navy is already renovating the Subic Bay base, that's in the Philippines, where they can dock ships and station troops. There's an additional 10,000 Marines there, and there are more Marines in nearby Guam. As China has rammed, assaulted, water cannoned, boarded, and even threatened to sink Philippine vessels, Manila has decided they can now push back. I'll tell you why they can push back in just a minute. Last week, a Chinese Coast Guard gunboat violated territorial waters up around the Scarborough Shoal, which is well within the Philippine waters. Without incident, Chinese sailors were taken off their boat. Their boat was impounded, taken in tow by the Philippine Navy. Now, the Chinese sailors have been sent back home, but Manila has decided they're going to keep the boat. China says we want it back. Manila says, screw you. However they say that in Tagalog. Well, as China bitches and threatens even stronger action, the Philippine government has been busily reinforcing, getting ready for the possibility, some say the probability, of war. They're strengthening outlying bases. They're building up shoals and islands. They're getting ready for any kind of a naval attack that China is likely to use. Understand, all of these shoals, all of these reefs, all of these barriers are well within Philippine territorial waters. But meanwhile, China says they all belong to Beijing, which claims over 2/3 of the South China Sea. Yes, Chairman Mao's 9-dash line is real to China, and it's crayons on a piece of paper to the rest of the world. Now, history shows that in 2012, the UN International Maritime Commission ruled that China's claims to the South China Sea are without merit. In English, that means they lose. China requested, in fact, they even demanded, that the World Court look at their claim. And after a year of deliberation, investigation, the courts ruled against China. Well, typical of our buddies in Beijing, they refused to abide by the court's decision. All of a sudden, the court that they demanded be held. Now they're saying, well, you know what, it doesn't mean anything anyway. Oh, God. Well, now that the Philippine Navy has received its second corvette warship, the BRP Diego Silong. It's a missile frigate. It's a modern, state-of-the-art ship with rockets and bombs and guns and cannons and helicopters and all the cool shit that a modern naval vessel seems to need. South Korean shipbuilder HD Hyundai is finishing 3 more to be sent to the Philippines by the end of this year. So Philippines have got 2 of them right now. Proper destroyers is what they are. China's not happy about it, but what it means is, with these ships in hand, our friends in the Philippines can now push back. They can tell Beijing where to kiss it. Until now, the Philippines had no warships any more powerful than a Coast Guard gunboat or a cutter. They did have one outdated cruiser. It spent more time in dry dock than in the water. Well, this is what changes the whole face. There are mutual defense agreements, pacts, treaties, if you will, between the Philippines, Japan, South Korea, India, and the United States. That means that if somebody attacks one of them, they're attacking all of them. I cannot see China stupid enough to go up against Japan, South Korea, India, and the U.S., as well as Philippines, over these shoals. And no. One of the reasons they want it is because fairly recently, huge underwater gas fields have been discovered in the Philippine trade zone. Philippine territorial waters are covering massive amounts of oil and natural gas. China wants it. They're not going to get it. So to help out on the American side, the U.S. has repositioned a bunch of F-35 Lightning aircraft stationed in Guam, and of course some on the carriers that are in the area. F-15 variants also in Guam, and in Japan, A-10s in Guam, and 2 B-52 bombers in Guam, and 2 aircraft carrier strike groups. Yes, the USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS George Washington and their naval escort with no less than a dozen ships, destroyers, cruisers, what have you, okay? This is something you don't want to go up against. Any one of these carriers can rain hell on China. The U.S. also hosts the largest fleet of nuclear-powered submarines, with over 76 that we know of, and they're our nation's very best-kept secret, top secret. Nobody knows where they are, where they're going. Maybe you know where they've been if they stop for shore leave, but really, nobody at the hell knows. Our nation's best-kept secret should scare the shit out of any enemy. Meanwhile, diplomatic relations are all aflutter, while China stands alone. Even with her bluff and bluster, it's highly unlikely any of China's friends are going to help or get involved in any way. Nothing more than lip service anyway. So you know what I say to that? I say, take a number and stand in line.